Disney Vibes Podcast, talking insider tips, tricks, and pixie dust. For the most magical place on earth, here's Andrew and Heather.
Hello, everybody, once again. My name is Andrew.
And this is Heather.
That was some delayed reaction there.
I can't. I'm sorry. I'm waiting for you to hiccup again.
This is what I deal with on a weekly basis.
Oh, it's all right. That's why you love me.
Oh, good
grief. For the record, I locked myself outside before, and you
Yes.
saved the day. My Prince Charming.
No. The funny part was I was in the garage. She went out with the new puppy Maverick, right? And all of a sudden I hear Andrew, and I'm like, what if I wasn't out in the garage? I shouldn't answer right now, and then you'd just be locked out in the dog pen.
So, actually, really quick, we haven't talked about Maverick here. And I think his whole name needs to be shared because...
Well, that's Jameson's doing.
Yes. So, Andrew, my lovely husband here, decided to surprise the kids and I with a puppy.
I'm out of my mind.
Oh, no. They ugly cried that they were so excited to have this puppy that they have been asking for years now. Well, a little over a year, because our older dogs are 14 years old. One passed away last year. We still have his brother Lincoln, and Lincoln doesn't play with them. So anyways, Andrew rescued a dog. It's a half lab, half spaniel mix. He's black. He's beautiful.
Don't think that's confirmed.
Well, when we take him to the vet this week, we'll see. But anyways, we were trying to come up with names, and I said, let's think about Disney. Like, what's our favorite things at Disney? What's our favorite characters, or what's our favorite rides? And the kids were like, oh, Soarin'. I was like, okay, I don't think Soarin' will be the names, but we chose Maverick, and his middle name is Soarin', and I like it.
I'm Maverick, you're Jester, end of story.
Oh, stop.
I win. That's right. Mic drop.
No, Goose.
Goose dies, all right? What are you doing here?
Oh, okay, never mind.
Way to kill the vibe of Disney vibes, Heather.
God. No.
Anyways, now that she's gone on 2 minutes of a tangent there, welcome to episode number 8 of the Disney Vibes Podcast. This content is brought to you by Magical Destinations Travel. BookMDTravel.com. One of our magical agents will be with you to assist you in planning your vacation throughout the entire process. There is no obligation for a free quote and no cost to you ever. And obviously, if you like our content, please help us out. Provide feedback and a rating on whatever platform you're using to listen, whether it be Apple, Google, Spotify, iHeart, whatever it is. We greatly appreciate your support. Now, we know the last time we're a little delayed. It's been crazy here. Just trying to digest everything with Disney Genie and Genie Plus and the individual lightning lanes and all sorts of stuff. And I'm still just wrapping my head completely around it because there is so much information that came out, people who experienced it, people who did not. So just as a recap of episode number 7, Disney Genie, okay, there's no more Fast Pass. Disney Genie replaced Fast Pass, and it's basically an itinerary to kind of give you some guidance on suggestions of how you should spend your day in a park. Disney Genie is absolutely free. Okay, free of charge. It is there. If you're not seeing it in My Disney Experience, you do have to do the upgrade. When you upgrade your MDX app, you will see it's got the whole decor of the 50th and so forth. So Disney Genie is free. Gives you suggestions and so on and so forth.
Think of it as, I guess you could say, your GPS. It's really marketed as, a way in which it can help you navigate the park by taking advantage of your location and wait times. So from what, we've gathered by reading and listening to people who have experience, it will tell you, hey, why don't you check out, Beauty and the Beast show, or, hey, let's go over here. So I think the concept is cool. However, there can definitely be some things where you're like, and I think that's where we can touch upon the next tier of it, Andrew.
Right. So then you have Disney Genie Plus, which is a paid version, and we went into all the details of what's included. Basically, all the rides in one park are included. with the exception of up to 2 per day, which are now individual lightning lanes or paid separate from Genie Plus. Typically, it's $15.98. That 98 cents is sales tax. So, and just with booking some vacations over the past week or so, the way it works with as you're working with your travel agent, you say you want park hopper, you say whatever your base ticket is and so forth. Your agent can then automatically add Genie Plus throughout the entire duration of your stay. If you're on a 5-night or a 5-day ticket, you would get Disney Genie Plus for 5 days. Your agent is not able to pick and choose. You want 2 days. In order to do that, you do need to do it starting at midnight the night before you're going to go into that park. So that is then completely on site, for lack of a better term. You have to be there and decide you want it, which I think we talked about last week, and we're going to go into it even, I was thinking for next week and getting ahead of myself with here, but kind of coming up with an itinerary or plan of what you could accomplish in one day. I know that like what we experienced when we rope dropped at Magic Kingdom, we got through a lot in about 3 hours. So that'll be a future episode of the podcast. But if you want to just kind of pick certain dates here and there, you do have to do that completely in your app. The day of is when you're able to do it. So the midnight, the day that you're going to go when the park opens. So, and again, sales tax, $15.98.
Man.
What?
I said midnight. That's
well, right. If you want the whole thing, you want to be like set it and forget it. That's what your agent helps you out. They add Genie Plus right from the get-go and you're done.
Right. For your whole stay though.
For how many ever days your park tickets that you purchased are for. Correct. Yes, it would have to be the entire duration of your stay. And then obviously the last component of that is the individual lightning lanes where the prices are varying based on cost. We're going to talk more about that. Rise of the Resistance for Star Wars it was the most expensive ride at $15 plus sales tax, when Genie Plus released last week. So there's a lot going on there. And a lot of issues, and people are having all kinds of things with that. And we're going to talk about Genie Plus, but before we do that, I want to talk about Here's What's Happening. Some news came out over the past week. We do know that there's a lot of new magic at Epcot during the 50th anniversary celebration, and they really start to talk about the statues, which we had mentioned before, all things 50th at Epcot. And it's, they're claiming that Epcot is shining like never before with exciting, iridescent magic for all to enjoy. We know that Epcot is continuing to evolve. It's always a state of becoming, adding more things between the resort's 50th, changing all of the worlds, more celebratory park offerings, once-in-a-lifetime experiences, decor, theme treats, new rides, experiences, and obviously the Nighttime Spectacular Harmonious is the key milestone in this historic transformation of Epcot, which really, we talked about the preview. It celebrates the way Disney music inspires people the world over. And like we said, we feel like it's World of Color meeting Illumination. So definitely cool. It can only happen at Epcot because of the showcase in the lagoon there, and it makes everything possible there. So they really have changed it, and it does shine bright. And this is going on for the next 18 months between the Fab 50 character collection, golden sculptures, and tons of food. Just we always talk about food.
I know we do. Just
I want that key lime tart at Coral Reef Restaurant where we ate.
Ooh.
Toasted meringue, iridescent shimmer.
I will take it. Actually, you know what? I saw, I think it was Disney Food Blog. It asked its followers their favorite 50th anniversary dessert, and I had to look at it more than once because I'm like, that's not a dessert, because it was absolutely outstanding what it was. It looked like it was like the iridescent blue, so like the 50th blue, and I want to say it was either like a cupcake, but then it had in the middle of it had like crystals. It was phenomenal. I'm going to post it on our Instagram, and you guys can see. I mean, it took my breath away. It really did.
Fantastic. Anyways, Epcot is now unified in 4 different neighborhoods. We got World Showcase, World Nature, World Celebration, and World Discovery. So they're really trying to bring all these neighborhoods together with all these experiences rooted in authenticity and innovation, and really amp the guest experience to new levels. with curiosity, discovery, and the magic of possibility. So very cool. You know, they're trying to push Epcot. We know that Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind is scheduled to open. Now, here's the thing. It says opening 2022. That could be spring. It also could be Christmas. So we don't know if it's, 14 months away or maybe it's 6 months away. We know they're making progress, but how far that progress is, we're not 100% sure. And obviously, as we get intel, we will gladly pass it along to you. I know we talked about the AR lenses at Walt Disney World Resorts with the Disney PhotoPass service, and that's continuing. I'm not going to spend too much time on that because I think they kind of missed the boat on that. I do want to mention for all of our Star Wars fans, the first voyages on Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser begin March 1st of 2022. The general bookings, so please call your agent, are starting October 28th. So all of the DVC members, everybody else who's been able to already sign up for and spend the experience for the voyage on the Galactic Star Cruiser, now it is open for everybody starting on October 28th. So that means Club 33 members have done, Golden Oak, DVC, Disney Pass holders, and Disney Visa card members have already gotten their invite to be able to book. And so now it's for everybody else. It is open. And word is it's selling out quickly. Mm-hmm. It is definitely selling out quickly. We do have a travel agent booking guide that we were just checking out recently, with it. And again, this is 48 hours. It's only 2 days. So it's not, I don't want to say it's not long. It's 48 hours that you're on it, and that's it. So, but you're going to be immersed in the Star Wars experience. So if you're into Star Wars, definitely check this out.
Yeah, I want to say I watched the behind the scenes look. I mean, it was within 5 years that they were talking about, creating this. I mean, I'm sure it's even a little more years even before that, but they said the last 5 years where they really started, developing it and creating the experiences. What did it look like, and just bringing all the sets and stuff in. So I'd be very interested to see the reviews that people have that, have like the first dibs on it, I guess you could say.
First dibs, got it. Mm-hmm. The other news I want to mention is more of the live entertainment's coming back, which we've kind of missed over the past 14, 15 months. Disney character experiences, which will really be meaningful for the little ones. Indiana Jones is coming back. Live music, more shows. So as Disney reamps their staff and gets everybody back, it looks like they have over 50,000 to 65,000 total cast members back are coming. So, or they already started working. So they're all coming back. So the Disney Junior will be coming alive again, and all the characters, the princesses at Fairy Tale Hall and Magic Kingdom. So it's all good news and positive there. Indiana Jones is coming back.
I got to say something. 2 things.
Oh, boy.
2 things. So here's the thing. When we went this past summer, I almost kind of enjoyed the fact that you did not have to, I don't want to say wait online. I mean, because I don't mind meeting the characters, but it was actually just really nice to see them just pop out of nowhere.
The cavalcades. Yeah, I mean, it was nice, and I didn't miss Fast Pass.
Right.
I didn't feel like I had to fast pass my way onto anything.
Well, yeah, so it was definitely more of like, okay, let's just go here, see what's happening, and oh, look, there's Chip and Dale, like up in, I don't know, they were up top in that one building there in Hollywood Studios, and then you would just take a selfie, like, oh, look over here. So I kind of didn't miss that, or carrying around the autograph book. I mean, but
yeah, with the pen that never works.
Because we have oh my God, that's so true. So, I'd be interested to see what that's going to look like, when the character meets come back. But I feel like what they did, this summer and what they're doing is a good way to still give someone that experience, that thrill, that excitement of seeing the character. And as far as Indiana Jones, this is a fun fact that I don't even think you know. You've never seen it, the show, correct?
Not in years.
Okay. So way back when I went, I think I was in high school, my dad was chosen to go on stage because they take
Yeah, the guy who wears a light, bright colored shirt.
Yes, and that's why he got called on stage. So he was one of the
neon
the
yellow
people-
folks.
It was either neon yellow or neon like orange,
I
like
think it was the
highlighter
yellow.
colors. It's crazy. And he was called on stage to be someone there, and it's more of a. It was, I want to say it was more of like a comedy type thing, but I really would like to go back and watch it with you. I think the kids would. I think Jameson could sit through it.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, your experiences are kind of dictated by the age of your children,
Right.
and the amount of, excuse me, the meet and greets. Sure, I mean they're cool. They want to see some. Actually, you know, I take that back. I would say it's starting to dwindle, but it's not. I mean, maybe for Sophia a little bit, but they still like. I mean, I don't think we have to wait in line for princesses, but like Pluto, forget it. Braden loves Pluto because he loves dogs, and you know Mickey. They still love the main characters. Everybody else, I don't know, but.
Little girls and princesses, though, or just I would
Little
say
girls,
like,
right? She's
the
almost 10.
younger kids,
100%.
boys, girls, the princesses can really. We used to do the character breakfast, and oh my God, the Frozen one. Well, it wasn't in Frozen.
Frozen.
No, but it was in Frozen Land.
Ackershouse.
Yes, the breakfast.
Right. So that's pretty much the news. There was some other stuff that came out, but really the focus this week that everybody has been talking about has been Genie, Genie Plus, and individual lightning lanes. It's been about a week since it's been out. We know there's been some kinks, and there's been a lot of positives. You know, there's been some negatives. And Genie Plus, remember, so let's talk about Genie Plus. Costs $15 per day at Walt Disney World. There are a lot of people who think it's absolutely worth it because you skip the long wait times. Now, here's my theory that we kind of alluded to last week. I think it is worth it for specifically Hollywood Studios and Magic Kingdom. I do not think you need to purchase Genie Plus for Animal Kingdom or Epcot. And reason being, on day one when Genie Plus was released, Expedition Everest, which is an individual lightning lane, it's not even a Genie Plus, so you had to pay extra $7 plus the tax or whatever for in order to get on the individual lightning lane. I feel like it was, if I remember correctly, it was like a 7-minute wait. So you either wait 7 minutes, right, or you spend the $7 on that individual lightning lane. So if that's any indication of how it's going to go, now obviously I know this is dictating crowds, and the holidays will be a little bit more intense with crowds as normal. And we have agents going down there. It's going to be interesting. We have agents going there for Thanksgiving break. We have agents that are going to be there down in the Christmas time. So I think it'll be interesting to see how it goes. But I do feel like the $15 is worth it. And maybe not every day. If you go to Hollywood Studios twice a day. I do think like you have to weigh out. Maybe if you're only doing a base ticket and not park hopping, then maybe it is more worth it. If you're park hopping, you can go back and forth and all around whether you want to or not. But
Right.
excuse me, I think, you know, that's something, because I know on the day of Genie Plus release, which was Tuesday the 19th, there was a 115-minute posted standby wait time for Rise of the Resistance. But there were people who spent the $15 for the individual lightning lane, and they waited 60 seconds to kind of get into, without giving out too much information, Ray's pre-show briefing for Star Wars Rise of the Resistance. So it's definitely worth it, especially if you're not a local and not going to get to experience it a lot. Now, would I be paying $15 every single time to go on Rise? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And here's the thing that I wanted to talk about specifically with Rise, because that clearly is the most popular lightning lane right now. Because remember, Remy's Ratatouille Adventure is using the virtual queue. If you're unable to get into the virtual queue, you could use the individual lightning lane for purchase for Remy's Ratatouille Adventure. But for lightning lane at Star Wars Rise of the Resistance, it's sold out 2 days in a row. Sold out 2 days in a row in Hollywood Studio. Standby was about 2 hours. So by 10:30 in the morning, the park opened up at 9. You couldn't even get in it.
Wow.
And waiting 2 hours is a lot. And the problem with Rise is it goes down a lot.
Yes, I did hear that.
So, which to my understanding is, if that happens, you are entitled to either a refund, or they give you like a free pass to come back at any time.
Anytime throughout the day.
Right. But that's, that's a risk, with it, because it does go down quite often. But with it selling out 2 days in a row, Disney actually, so what I thought was pretty interesting is they actually changed something by day 2. And please do not direct any hate mail towards me as I say this. However, I think they were really trying to put the advantage to those guests who are staying on property. Ooh. So if you are staying on at any of the Disney World resorts, including Swan and Dolphin and so forth, you can book your individual lightning lane, right, while on property. When the park opens, that time, and that's 7 a.m., sorry. And when the park opens at 9, then other guests who are not staying can get in there and start booking it. So I can't remember where I saw this. It's going to drive me crazy now.
I do remember hearing about it, but was it the fact that you have to be in the park at 9 to do it, or was it you just have access at 9? I'm pretty sure you had to be in the park.
I'm not 100%.
Okay.
And I don't want to
I don't want to
misspeak.
misquote it.
Yeah.
Right.
But I do know that however Disney changed something, they ended up allowing those for the individual lightning lane. I feel like a lot more of those who are staying on site at Disney hotels had an advantage because it was selling out so quick from the 7 a.m. to the 9 a.m. slot. So I think what they ended up doing was from the 7 a.m. slot, once they hit their max of the individual lightning lanes at that point, they stopped all sales, and then they released another bunch, similar to what they did with the lightning lane on the virtual queue at 1 o'clock back, when Rise was on a virtual queue. You had to be in the park, and then you were able to get it in the park after you had to be in the park itself, had gone through the turnstiles, and at 1 o'clock they released more boarding groups. What I think they did now is if you're on site 7 a.m., they just let it go. They don't stop it now for the first bunch and then release another part at 9 a.m. I think they let it go, and anybody who wants it, who's on site at Disney World actual resorts, can get their individual lightning lane as long as it doesn't sell out. Come 9 a.m., if you're staying off site and there's nothing left, you're out of luck. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure that was my understanding of it, and they did that by day 2, right, which I thought was pretty interesting, because it'll tell you right away, sold out, enjoy via standby. It's no longer available, but you can just stand in a 2-hour wait, right? Versus, and Rise is $15, everything else,
per person.
Right. I mean, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Rail was about $8 per guest, but the standby wait time was 35 minutes. I can deal with that. I don't need the individual lighting. I do like Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Rail. Absolutely. It seems to me that the most popular one right now is going to be, obviously, Rise of the Resistance. And if you haven't experienced it, you'll understand why once you do, whether it's an individual lightning lane purchase or a standby choice for you. But the individual lightning lanes, there were some issues as well. There was, like, for example, this was just yesterday, actually. There was Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Rail standby line, 45 minutes, right? Individual lightning lane you were able to purchase yesterday. It was a weekend for $10, and your window starts at 4 o'clock. So remember, with a window, it's like Fast Pass. You have an hour to get to it with your window. So, I mean,
it's very interesting. One thing that I think what this is lacking altogether, and for someone like you and a lot of my
me
type A people, because you like to have things planned out. Even like when we try to coordinate, like, for example, when we went this past summer, we were able to meet up with like 3 other families or 2 other families. And we were able to kind of coordinate, like, oh, okay, we have this time to go on this ride, blah, blah, blah.
Well, there was no Fast Pass. We didn't have to worry about that. There was no Fast Passes this past summer.
Very true. But hold on. But in years past, we've done that though. But now this doesn't give you the opportunity to try to plan out something in advance, as advance.
Please elaborate. Like,
okay, so hold the phone. So if I'm going to Disney, right? Can I get the Genie Plus and within, a week before we go, buy my Genie Plus lightning lanes and all that? Can I sit there and reserve my fast passes?
No.
Right.
Nope.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like some people like to have like a big picture, and this doesn't give you that option. Does that make sense now?
Okay. Yes, I understand what you're saying now. But basically, so what you do is at 7 a.m. you're able to make if you're a purchase Genie Plus,
right?
You're able to make your first selection, right? So you would make your first selection for whatever the ride is. This is an excellent individual lightning lane alternative. Early theme park entry is now available for on-site resort guests at Walt Disney World. And it's something that you definitely want to take advantage of. Reason being, if you're leaving, let's say you're staying at Caribbean Beach and you want to get to Hollywood Studios via the Skyliners, you get on the gondolas and you head there. And what will happen is, in theory, it'll vary based on crowds, but chances are you'll be able to be there into the turnstiles and attractions prior to the 8:30 official start of early theme park entry. It's going to be, I don't want to say it's consistently that time, but it'll be pretty close. Some days, Rise of the Resistance has started operating as early as 8 a.m. So continue to check the MDX app and the hours. And when you are planning for that unofficial opening prior to 8:30 and arriving accordingly, you want to definitely get there, leave yourself enough time, whether you're taking whatever mode of transportation you are taking, leave yourselves extra time if you want to try to experience and utilize that early theme park entry. Most of the guests are going to go to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge.
Right.
I don't think they're going to head anywhere else first. I think that's going to be the focal point, right?
Right.
I do think that for most people, the new ride smell has worn off of Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Rail. And Toy Story Land is, once again, the second most popular destination.
So then maybe, you keep that in mind. So you know what? No matter what, maybe we'll do, the Rise Lightning Lane attraction. So then therefore we'll take advantage of going in early and, getting those other two or whatever. So just some thought process. And I did I know what article you're referring to, and I thought that was actually very smart.
Extremely.
To take advantage of that with 100%.
And this individual did go to Star Wars Rise of the Resistance. The standby line said a 25-minute wait as of 8:07 when they got in. So closer to opening and closing, the posted waits are least accurate. So it could have been longer because they are trying to gauge, how quick it's going to go. But what did happen was there was a constant flow of guests that went through the queue. There were no backups. Obviously, the ride was working. That's always a positive. And the lightning lane is not yet in use during early entry. So 100% of the guests are pulled from standby line versus the individual lightning lane. So if you're early, they don't start the individual lightning lane paid until the actual park opening. So if you're there, take advantage of that early entry time, because what happened is the first time this gentleman entered the queue until the first briefing room for Rise, the line never stopped moving. It's not a walk-on, but it was pretty close. Total wait time, they said, was about 17 minutes, which is fantastic for Rise, and he saved himself $15.98 for the day. So by 8:45, he was out of the attraction, and that's only 15 minutes after the official start of early entry,
Right.
which the park is still not open.
It's not open.
Till 9. By that time, though, a lot more people had come in, whether it be from transportation. Again, they had to be on-site guests, and the standby line wait time for Rise had, jumped significantly.
Right.
So most on-site guests are arriving from 8:30 to 9 a.m. They still head directly to Galaxy's Edge, and at that point, you may have missed the boat, or the ship at that point, right? Because the line's going to, that's what everybody's doing. They're definitely going there.
Right.
They're going there first. You got to be on that bus transportation or gondolas or whatever it is. You're taking the boat early. At that point at 8:45 in the morning, the dilemma is like, okay, do we go to Toy Story Land or do we go to Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Rail?
Right.
If not using Genie Plus, you definitely do go Toy Story Land.
Yep.
And Slinky Dog Dash.
Yeah.
Because Slinky will get up there. If you are, in fact, using Genie Plus, which that will give you those options later, I would definitely knock out Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. That way you don't have to pay for it.
Right. And you know what? With Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, I remember when we went, we walked on at times,
Couple
whether
times,
it was more towards like the afternoon, evening, and even, listening to some other podcasts, they did say the same, like you really want to get on that, just kind of wait a little bit. Because
especially at
it
night.
does die down. We'll kind of think about it. That audience primarily is more of younger kids.
Yeah, and
I'd
if you
say.
go on it once, we went on it, depending upon your kids, we went on it multiple times.
Right.
It's not like Rise where it's not as long as Rise. If your kids are into it, you may go multiple times. If they aren't, it's not like Rise where you are going to go multiple times if possible. Because even at that point, this individual who was testing this out only had to wait 35 minutes standby for Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Rail. So it could have been a lot longer. They said 35 minutes, the actual wait time only being 18. So again, it moved quicker because before taking that early park entry, a lot of people were just not only just getting there right away, even when 9 o'clock the gates open, where they all go, Galaxy's Edge. Mm-hmm. They basically hit Star Wars Galaxy Edge, Rise of the Resistance, and Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Rail, the two rides that are individual Lightning Lane paid rides in Hollywood Studio, didn't pay extra for them.
Wow.
So if you're able to take part in that early entry, that's monumental. And again, that is a feature that is only available to on-site guests. And then from there you can go Rock and Roller, Tower of Terror, so on and so forth, and go throughout your day. But I think that is the best strategy if you did not want to buy specifically Genie Plus and go to Hollywood Studios and you are staying on site. I do think that is a good way of experiencing them, those rides very quickly, and hopefully you get on right away. Last thing I wanted to mention, I know we've kind of been to Genie Plus and individual Lightning Lanes a little bit too much, and Heather's looking at me like her head's spinning. There are some rides, a refurbishment calendar that Disney just released. So if you are attending in the next few months, Expedition Everest is closing January 4th, 2022 through mid-April 2022, which they just put that on individual Lightning Lanes. So I'm kind of wondering what's going to take that place, right? That's at Animal Kingdom, obviously. Finding Nemo, the musical, that'll be returning more in 2022. Cali River Rapids closing November 1st through mid-December.
That's not bad.
Magic Kingdom, Enchanted Tales with Belle. We're hoping that that's going to come back in December 2021 since they announced more and more experiences. The Festival of Fantasy Parade, hopefully early 2022. Mickey's Filler Magic will be reopening November 12th. Mickey Mouse at Town Square Theater will be returning in November. They did not give us a hard date on that. Same with Princess Fairy Tale Hall will be returning in November. And the Walt Disney World Railroad, the reopening is still to be determined, but they're saying likely summer 2022 or later.
All right.
At Hollywood Studios, Fantasmic, they're thinking it's going to return in 2022. Indiana Jones Epic Stunt Spectacular will be reopening December 19th. Jedi Training Academy, we've been looking forward to that.
We have been.
That will be likely in 2022.
All right.
Mickey and Minnie starring in Red Carpet Dreams, November of 21. And then the Launch Bay, Star Wars Galactic Spectacular, Voyage of the Little Mermaid, we are unsure of at this time. We are going to wrap up this episode. Heather, what about the socials?
So come, let's be friends over on Facebook. You can follow us at Magical Destinations Travel. And then over on Instagram, you can find us on Magical Destinations Travel Co. And Twitter, Magical Dest Trav.
That's
so
correct.
Hit us up.
That's it. Website, bookmdtravel.com. Till next time, live life, do what makes you happy, and let the Disney vibes flow.
Find Disney Vibes for all your vacation needs on the web at bookmdtravel.com.